Jesus said to his disciples, "If you love me, you will keep my commandments. And I will ask the Father, and he will give you another advocate to be with you forever. This is the Spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive, because it neither sees him nor knows him. You know him, because he abides with you, and he will be in you. I will not leave you orphaned. I am coming to you. In a little while, the world will no longer see me, but you will see me. Because I live, you also will live. On that day, you will know that I am with my Father. You are in me, and I in you. Those who have my commandments and keep them are those who love me. And those who love me will be loved by my Father, and I will love them and will reveal myself to them." This is the word of the Lord.
Praise to you, O Christ.
All right, so today, which is the first day of arguably my rookie season, but also for Mount of Olives, it's a new season. It's going to be a period of learning. And I've already learned some things. I've learned that Catholics sit further back than Lutherans. I didn't think it was possible. Okay. Most exceptions. I also learned that we're going to fumble things. We're going to knock over speakers. We're going to drop mics. But God has grace. And with today being Mother's Day, I want to probably share something that's important for you to know about me in one of my first rookie seasons, when I was right field for the Yankees of Orange. I was probably 12 or 13. What I can tell you is it was the maximum age you could be to be in AA ball. So for those of you that played Little League or had kids that played Little League, single A meant you had T-ball. After you no longer had T-ball, you went to AA, but it was still a training. The top age at AA was probably 12 or 13. So I was a rookie at the oldest age you could be. Sounds like today for me, right? But it gets worse. Here's where it gets worse. So the other thing you'll know about baseball is where do you typically put the worst player? Right field. Right field. And the minimum you have to play is 2 innings. So I'm assigned right field for 2 innings as a 13-year-old. My first hit comes out to right field. I'm backing up. I see it. I hear Mom saying, "Timmy, you have this. You have this." I stumbled. I fell. The ball hit the ground. I fumbled my first hit. I heard a little voice though. "Tim, get up. Tim, get up, get the ball." Stand up, threw the ball in. Guy got a home run, but that's all right. The point is, I stood up and I got the ball. Well, today's reading is really about the disciples' rookie season. As you may remember, last week we heard Philip and Thomas saying, "Where are you going, Jesus? And more importantly, what are we going to do?" It seems a little strange now after Easter, because this time really is right before Easter. This is at the Last Supper. This is called Jesus' discourse. And he's starting to set up the apostles, the disciples, for their rookie season. What was his advice? Keep my commandment. Keep my commandment. And he has one commandment, which is love your neighbor as I have loved you. We also hear in Acts this idea around conscience. So really, it's about developing a clean conscience, is what we heard. So Jesus tells the disciples, just as we're told, I have already taught you everything you need to know. which is to love one another as I have loved you. So keep my commandment. Jesus goes on to say, I will show you what to do, because I will die for you because I love you. Live as I have shown you. So Jesus has instilled with the disciples and with us, what does it mean to have a clear conscience? It means to act out of love. Jesus' words to his disciples, follow your conscience. Because our conscience is really what defines our values. Our values is what forms in our head, forms in our hearts, what we think is right. Now in Acts, we're warned not to fall that it's not easy, and not to fall prey to today's idea of values. Because today's world is driven by consumption, consumerism. And that's what Jesus warns us, is to not fall trap to that. But Jesus also knows, as we all do, that it's hard to avoid having our values changed. And Jesus tells us, I will not orphan you. That's the importance of parents. That's the importance of mothers. That's the importance of fathers. That's the importance of mother and father figures that we all serve throughout our life. Jesus goes on to say, I will send you help. I will ask the Father to send another, an advocate, a helper, a comforter. And that will be forever. Because I will help guide you to keeping a clear conscience. So as disciples, we are called to nurture a good conscience. And our guide is love. We're to ask for it through prayer. We're to maintain it through word and sacrament. For God has said the Spirit will reveal God's truth. And it is God's truth that renews our conscience. So this is indeed the good news of God's love, which has been poured out for all of us. That this is the love that we have received through God's grace. And this is precisely our call as Christ's disciples, to be obedient to Jesus' commandment, to love one another as he has loved us. We are to let God's grace shine through us into the world. For discipleship without grace, those are the self-righteous legalists. Those are the Pharisees back in the day. Grace without discipleship, we're just detached observers, looking at the world passing by, taking no action. It is only through grace and discipleship that we actually meet what Jesus is commanding us to do, which is to follow his obedience, to be obedient to his commitment, to his commandment to love. Jesus so loves us that he died to bring us to God. And it is in our baptism that Christ has made us a family. And I have heard how what Mount of Olives is a family. The Spirit that's poured out from Christ's resurrection that abides with us, is in us, and with us. And that's what binds us together. We see the living Christ in the Word. It gives us a place of refreshment. And in the holy meal, which nourishes us. Both Word and sacrament, they bid us not to fear being maligned by the world, as we heard in the readings today. But rather, we are to gently and reverently to tell the world how our hope is in us. And our hope is in Jesus Christ. So Mount of Olives, in our rookie season together, we will drop some balls. In our rookie season together, we will fumble about as we've heard the apostles do. And in our rookie season, we may downright fall flat on our face. But remember Jesus' words to those first disciples in their rookie season. keep my commandments, to love one another as I have loved you. Amen.
Amen.